Welcome to AlphaCars and Motorcycles. Today it's all about cars, about some very nice cars. We have 1985 Mercedes 280 SL. This car has an amazing history here in United States. And yes, you're correct. This is the European variant. Look at the bumpers. Look at the headlights. And it was legally imported by the original owner in United States here in the next town of Harvard in Massachusetts. We're in Boxborough, so welcome to our Boxborough location. Again, my name is Dimitri. I'm here with In. He's running the camera. Hi, In. How are you?
Good to be here.
Yes. So we have an absolute pleasure to be around this car and to show you this car. At the time of this video, this vehicle is still available. And you owe it to yourself if you're a car enthusiast, if you're a motoring enthusiast, and certainly if you're a Mercedes enthusiast and a BMW enthusiast, you got to check out our listing. The listing is incredibly thorough and covers all aspects of the vehicle history and this vehicle restoration, and that's where the value lies. Unique offering because it's a European version. And it's beautiful. It is absolutely stunning, and it reminds us how gorgeous these cars really are, because in the United States we have another almost 10-inch of bumper, and we have completely disturbing headlamps that are for US DOT specifications. But when you see one like this, you realize that that is the Mercedes design. But even with those styling deficiencies, they still look very nice. But when you get one like this is a score. So there's more score around this car, and we're gonna check out all the details about this car, but we are going to start with the fact that it is a 280. We're gonna show you the engine bay. This is not something you see around here as much, because this has one of the best Mercedes engines, and you can see it right here. Check this out. Check this out. Straight six, inline six, just reached its normal operating temperature, and you're not mistaken asking yourself a question: do they have a brand new engine there? Why does it all look brand new? And that is the special feature of this car. Majority of the parts on this automobile are Mercedes brand new parts. His method of restoration is to purchase as many brand new factory parts, in fact Mercedes factory parts, as there are available. So he bought pretty much everything brand new. We're gonna have the underbody video, and the same approach was taken with the underbody. All new parts were installed. The same approach was with the interior and with dash and under dash parts. So it is absolutely amazing how this car was restored. It was almost built from new parts again. When you restore something, that means you take something that's old, you make it new, and that's the process of restoration. And there were instances where this had to be done. Obviously the body of the car was not replaced with a new one, it was refinished. Very nice job. But you can see all the clips, all the hardware, not to mention they're brand new, but they were ordered from Mercedes. And all these linkages, everything, it's all brand new. Check all this out. And we're gonna have all the images. I think our website allows 100 images, so we're gonna have all 100 images there. So let's transition to the interior, and as we do that, we're gonna show you a walk around the exterior of the vehicle. It is a complete refinish. The vehicle was completely refinished when it was all apart. You can see all the moldings were off. We're showing it with the hardtop on. We're gonna take that off, and the hardtop is the only unrestored part. It was refinished, but it was not taken apart, and the headliner is very nice, and the moldings were attached during refinishing. The rest of the car, it was a complete disassembly. There are no tape lines. everything was removed, everything was refinished, and then reassembled with the same care a Mercedes engineer would have at the factory assembling this car. So absolutely phenomenal, stunning example. And let's take a peek inside the car. There's only one non-original part there, and that is the radio, because the second owner definitely enjoyed he needed something that could have a Bluetooth communication. So there's a microphone, and this is the Alpine radio, and there is also a USB connection, Bluetooth connection, so that can easily be retrofitted with the original Mercedes radio. Look at everything inside the car. And I guess we're going to have another segment later in this video when we will have the top down. But check out the headliner here. Just look at that. And you can see it's in great condition. The glass is in great condition. That's all good. The seats have new padding inside, and it actually has new leather seats. So these are leather seats instead of MB Techs. These are leather seats. And then look at this. This is not something we had a pleasure of having in the United States, but it does have factory jump seats. So it's 2+2. You can have 2 people. I think they would have to be smaller size than myself, but I'm gonna give it a solid try. And if I get stuck, promise you get me out of here.
I'll see what I can do.
But you know what? It's kind of, yeah, if I could only find a way for my feet, then we can unfold the seat. But the height-wise, we're still doing pretty good. So if you do have to bring another adult, you can kind of sit this way. And yeah, so look at this. I can actually be here in the back of Mercedes SL in the United States, and I'm somewhat comfortable. I cannot move around much, but I'm actually comfortable. Check this out.
You look real comfortable.
It is comfy, yeah. So it's not bad at all, not bad at all. So and to get out, all we need to do is lift this up, and this is with the top, hard top. So with the top down, this would be a breeze.
You could just jump in.
Yeah. So that's all great. We showed you the interior. Just have another look at the interior. Look at all the trim panels and look at the hardware. It's all brand new, and it was installed in the manner that you don't even see range marks, and all the guts of the doors, all the mechanism inside, they're all brand new. All the lenses are brand new. The dashboard is brand new. There are no cracks. Let me just confirm. There are no cracks in the wood. Everything is impeccable. Everything feels like all these things, they're brand new. The switches, they're brand new. They click, they return like a brand new switches. All the little writing in white, that's all brand new because the switches are brand new. So I think the next thing we're gonna do is maybe take a quick drive.
Sure.
And we should take a peek in the trunk. So we have the floor mats. We do have the center armrest that is not installed, but it is available with, again, with all brand new parts upholstered. These are the ranges for the hard top and the soft top, so we need to connect that. We're also going to take a peek at the full-size spare and check out the care that was used to place it here. Look at those towels at the points of contact of the tire to the painted surface of the wheel well. So that's all great. The carpets are, of course, brand new. You know what? We should do it the way it was. This was here. And look at all this. Again, awesome. Impeccable, brand new. We'll take a look this way. Look at the carpets, and even at the, yeah, if we look at this, you can see all this, because this is all brand new stuff. It's not, again, it's not your typical restoration where the old parts are restored and installed. This was, the challenge was to find new parts, and he did a great job. Look at this. It's all brand new. all brand new, including the harness, including the lens. It's, and I just popped this out, but if you look anywhere in this car, majority of the parts are brand new. And didn't we do like a list of, we did get a folder, like an inch thick folder of all the parts receipts for this job.
Yeah, we do have a lot of receipts,
Yeah.
a lot of documents on the car.
Yeah, so there's a full documentation on every part that was purchased for this car, and it was tens of thousands of dollars. So from the value standpoint, this is an absolutely amazing value proposition, not to mention...
And it's European specification.
Yeah, and it's just a fun car to drive. So let's get inside. Yeah, and that's the beauty of this car. Like everywhere you look, it's like you're facing brand new parts, everything.
It almost smells new in here.
Yeah, certainly does not smell like your typical vintage car. Plenty of seat travel.
Yeah, the seat slides very smooth.
Heated seats.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, the inside feels really nice. Well, the outside feels great. The inside feels great. We're going to turn the lights on. This is the headlamp system that has actually the aim adjustment. There's a little 0 to 3 switch right there that you can change the aim of the headlamps. Not something that we have here in the United States. Yeah, and the transmission engages beautiful, nice and tight. And this is a lovely engine. I still don't understand why they did not bring it in US for the SL models. They had them for the W123 variants. And this is the mechanical fuel injection system that is pretty much the aviation grade reliability. There are no computers. It's a fuel injection system, all mechanical. So 3-speed gearbox, and when you drive this car with this gearbox, you ask yourself, why do you need more than 3 gears? So now Mercedes makes cars with 7-9 speed gearbox. And of course there are good reasons, but this car shifts beautiful, engine feels awesome in any gear.
So smooth.
Yeah. I don't even know if we're in second or third gear. I did not feel the shifts.
Yeah, shifts are very smooth as well, yeah.
Spectacular. And all the instrument illumination works, and there's proper and even light distribution. The odometer works. The vehicle has, since restoration, it probably has a couple thousand miles. Total mileage on the vehicle is 113,000 miles, which again is not a lot, but as far as the restoration that was applied to this vehicle, it makes this car just amazing. This vehicle was properly converted when it was imported by the original owner as a brand new vehicle. He took delivery in Germany, enjoyed it in Germany. I'm not sure if it was vacation or work for a little while, and then brought it to US. And when those cars were brought in, they were converted to US specs. So there were certain things done to these vehicles. The reinforcement inside the door, the reinforcement inside the bumper, and there was another little lambda control sensor known as nowadays oxygen sensor was installed in to reduce emissions supposedly, but it never really did that. So he actually reverted all aspects of the car to the full European spec. So it doesn't have that undesirable lambda little relay with the sensor. I remember we used to remove them because they messed things up. And he removed all the additional metal reinforcements that were installed in the 80s for this vehicle. So, oh, look at the downshift.
Yeah.
It's just so smooth, like boom.
And it's a steep hill too.
And it's a steep hill, and I was just talking, and it's like it's like a computer controlled transmission. It knew when to downshift, but it actually has a very reliable, brand new vacuum modulator that decides when to downshift, and it definitely does a great job.
And the heated seat works awesome.
I was just gonna say
even
that.
in the back.
Yeah.
The back is
Yeah, mine works awesome, great, yes. So we have all these things. The handling is beautiful. And I've driven a lot of SLs in US. They all have V8s. And the early ones, they even have the cast iron block aluminum heads. They're very heavy. Even the later ones in the 80s, when they went to all aluminum engines, they were still very heavy in the front, and it took away from handling. This car definitely handles so much better steering response, and the front end, you can tell it is just much lighter. So
Yeah, it feels agile even in the passenger
oh yes,
seat.
look at that. I had to kind of move around a little pothole in the pavement, and it just kind of went right around it.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is a bumpy road. Like right there was an indent from some kind of a prior digging, and it took it nice. It just absorbed everything, shock worked. It feels like a new car. And why wouldn't it? Because it has all brand new control arms, bushings, ball joints, tie rod ends, coil springs, the rubber spacers between the coil springs and the seat of the coil. Look at that. 33 miles we're showing right there. 30 miles an hour, and the speedometer shows exactly 30 miles an hour. So we know we have an absolutely accurate speedometer. And it's nice to know that we were driving within the speed limit. And you know what? This is the car that you can enjoy at any speed. You don't have to go fast. In fact, when you slow down, you can enjoy this car even more.
Especially when you have the top down.
Is that how it works with your BMW, Ian, with your new suspension? And
I think it gets better the faster you go, but
sure.
it's fun at any speed.
Yeah, look at that. That was a good size, pretty sharp. Another one, boom.
We drive this road a lot
Yeah.
with many of our cars, and this is one of the smoothest ones I've ever been in.
Yeah,
Smoother than a lot of new cars we drive down this road.
absolutely. Yeah. And the windshield is impeccably clear. Guess why?
It's new.
It's brand new. Absolutely. The mirrors have no pitting because they're brand new. And when you look around the mirror, like all that trim, it's not faded because it's brand new. Everything is brand new. Like you move things and they all work because the dash was out, and and that previous owner went through all aspects, all the vacuum lines, all the vacuum actuators. Everything was overhauled, and it's all brand new. And the air conditioning works awesome. And in fact, when we had the engine open, there was the AC discharge line, and you could see some condensation there, right on the because today is one of the first warm days. Today was 10 degrees Celsius. We're gonna stick to European because we are in the European version of Mercedes.
Perfect.
So 10 degrees Celsius, probably like low 50s.
And these seats are so comfortable too.
They absolutely are. Yep. And look at the radius of turning.
Turning circle's awesome. Yeah.
Yep. Again, let's hear that engine one more time. Do show the door jambs, and again, all the pins, and of course, all the gaskets, and how everything is really done on this car. And even these moldings, like you look at these moldings, that's all brand new, and the hardware in the moldings
Even
brand
the little
new.
screws.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
quite
and
amazing.
even the clips for the pins, that's all brand new.
factory finish.
Yeah. I never realized how deep that blue is. Yeah, and look at the European headlamps. These are glass. They're glass. And we now have running lights only. So with running lights, you still have a little backlit illumination.
You have the parking light.
Yeah, you have a little parking light
Yeah.
inside the headlamp. That is brilliant. And look at these lamps. These are factory original lamps. You can see all the original moldings, brackets, and these are the driving lamps. That is a gorgeous looking Mercedes. And I love it with the doors open. Look at this. This is like going back in the 80s. The roof line, kind of like an indented roof line, which comes from even from the 280 SLs of the late 60s. Actually, there's one other thing that is a deviation from the original, and those are the wheels, because the second owner, we do have the original hubcaps. So this car came with steel wheels and hubcaps. We do have a set of hubcaps, that 14-inch wheel. So he tracked down an original set of wheels, which are 15-inch wheels, Michelin tires. That's why it drove so nicely. And it looks great with that.
I love their bottle cap style.
Yep.
I love that. I love that style.
Yep. And again, look at all the lights and how things are here. And it's got your license plate lights. Everything works. A beautiful license plate frame, slim bumper, unbumped bumper.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are no gouges, no marks. Nice soft rubber. Immaculate chrome because it's all brand new. Nice throaty exhaust, and the exhaust is also brand new, and all the hangers for the exhaust are brand new, and all the heat shield around the exhaust all brand new. So this is the only car that you can actually, very few cars, I shouldn't say the only car. If you got a tightly Isetta BMW, you can still do that. But with a real size car like this, very few cars will have the geometry and the steering geometry, the tightness of the radius, visibility, where you can comfortably just pull in. Look at that. There's not much of the space there. And without doing any three-point turn, you could easily just drive it in. So this is an absolutely amazing, truly amazing example. We're going to show it to you under the showroom lights, which shows all the defects and all the imperfections. And this car has very, very few to disclose. But we're going to take the hardtop off, and we're going to show you the soft top, which is also brand new. And the hardtop does have some imperfections we wanted to disclose. So you can see there is a molding gouge right there. And you can see that the moldings were taped, and they were not removed during the refinish process. The previous owner did not think they would use the top at all, but they still had it refinished, and they did not put much effort in really taking the moldings off and refinishing it that way. And you can also see, which is part of the hardtop. This is not part of the car. On the car, all the rubber, everything is brand new. And of course, the little clips that hold them, they're all brand new. But this is the original gasket. You can see it's still nice and actually surprisingly pretty soft and not cracked.
And the window's sealed well against it too, driving.
You know what? Yeah, Ian, you're correct. There was no really much of or any wind noise. And the other thing we're going to disclose about the hardtop, there's if next owner is going to use it, there is normally a sleeve that goes over these slots, and then you can put that range to tighten it down. So those were displaced, and the previous owner didn't have them. So to tighten it down, we just used a set of pliers, and you just tighten it down and you loosen it up. When you tighten it down, this pin kind of looks like it's up, and when it's released, this goes up and the pin looks kind of flush. That way you can see if it's tightened or not. And by the way, all the cables and all the latches, they're all brand new. There are actually a few other parts that the previous owner bought as an extra, the tail lights, the distributor cap, the rotor, and a few other consumables that will come with the car. We have the plastic bin full of those.
The listing discloses all those.
Okay.
Or tells us about all those, the extra
Excellent.
parts.
So definitely check out the listing. This video is great. And if you're watching this video and the vehicle is still available, it'll be listed on our website, and you can see all those details. And if we sold the vehicle, but you're still interested to watch these, to see the details, it will be listed under sold cars. We have hundreds of absolutely phenomenal cars that are now driven by very happy customers. So make sure you become one of our customers that drive a very nice car. This could be one of them. So we're gonna get to work to remove the top. Look at that. It's just nice and flush and tight. This is This is phenomenal.
Are you sure you don't want to add this one to your collection, Dimitri?
I'd love to. I'd love to. But I have to behave. Yeah, this I would take this all day long, not as much as collectible, but as an everyday driver for the right season, because it's so enjoyable to drive. It is so enjoyable to drive and to own, because everything on the car, like you just want to look at it, and just looking at things as beautiful as this, it just makes you feel really good. So let's get to work on getting the top on the stand. We do have the stand for the top. So we just removed the hardtop from the SL to 80. The hardtop is right there. You can actually see how clean the headliner and all the trim is. It's in great condition. And now we can actually show you more of the interior and some other things that you couldn't see as well with the hardtop on the vehicle. But before we do that, we're gonna take a much closer look at something that you cannot see. Just think of it. We're gonna take a closer look at something that you cannot see. We're gonna look at paint thickness and what is under the paint. So when the vehicle comes from the factory, it comes with a primer, with a base coat, and certainly with the clear coat. And then the thickness of those materials builds up, and different manufacturers will have a different thickness. So for example, Mercedes, this vintage, will show paint meter readings anywhere between 4 to 6 mils. And actually, that's a great example right here, right behind Ian with the camera. We have this Mercedes. This is a customer's vehicle. And we know this has original paint. We actually did ceramic coating on it years ago. And when I measure this, I measure 4.5, I measure 5.0, and we can keep going, but that's pretty much the thickness of a factory finish. And the other element of the factory finish you have is that the finish was done on the car before the moldings, before the bumper, before all the gaskets and grommets were installed. So the finish flows under all these parts. So anytime we talk about a vehicle that has been refinished, we obviously look at the quality of the finish. We look at, was the vehicle fully disassembled prior to being refinished? And the other element you want to look at is reliability, longevity, durability of the work that was done. And that is not something you can assess by looking at it, but you can gauge it based on how long ago the paint work was done on this car. So this paint work on this car was done over 10 years ago, and we're not seeing any cracking, any clear coat shrinking, any peeling or any delamination. And yes, we did the paint correction on this vehicle before offering for sale. So we actually spent a couple of days of the professional paint correction specialist, and it looks gorgeous, but that was a good test for the durability of that paint job. And not only they used at the time 10 years ago, they were already high quality materials, but anything that's under the paint is also holding up very good. So if 10 years later you don't see any concerns, it's probably going to go for another 10 years or more, depending on how the car is used and where it's used. And the other thing we can do, I have in my hand, it's one of the best paint meter tools. And so with this tool, we can measure the thickness of the paint, as I showed you on that red SL. And if we know the vehicle was refinished and we did not refinish it, we don't know what's under the paint. And what you don't want to have is a lot of body filler. So when you look at restoration, you want to see as much metal and less body filler as possible. And the indication of that would be, think of it, you have a factory paint there, and then you're going to have any type of prep work, and then the primer, the sealer, and it could be epoxy-based sealer, I believe they used on this car. And that gives some good layers, thickness. So with this, we would be certainly somewhere between 8 and could be as much as 12 to 15, and there could be some areas that are close in 20. I already measured this car and I know where those areas are, so I will show you. That means there was some waviness there, and it was repaired with the leveling agents on this car. It was epoxy-based body filler. We can just go and start measuring it here. So we're measuring 10. On the trunk, we're measuring 7. On the quarter panel, we're measuring 9. And we're measuring 8 here. We're measuring 7 here. We're measuring 8 here. We're measuring 7 here. We're measuring 8 here. 7 on the hood. We'll pick up the middle of the hood. We're measuring 7.5. And let's keep going. 7.5. 6.5. 5.0. 8.0. 6.5. 8.5. Actually, let's get the trunk. 8.5. 9.5. And this is the area that, based on the measurements, we know there was probably a very light collision, because we looked at all the edges on the inside, and the pinch welds are not disturbed, so there was nothing structural, and even on the inside, we looked at it, it looks all good, but there was probably a little bit more waviness here, and when they did vehicle refinish, we can see, so we can measure it here, you can see 14, we can measure it here, it measures 19. So again, it's still extremely reasonable. You can get into these numbers. Even 30, 35 may not be unreasonable. In fact, it's not unreasonable if quality materials are used. And again, we know the materials are quality here because 10 years later, it still looks impeccable. And there's just nothing that we would be really concerned with this paint job. Yes, there are minimal to no nibs in the clear coat, but they're so insignificant that we rate this paint job as a very, very nice one. And we'll ask Ian to just walk with the camera around, show a little bit of the paint quality, and it's super, super shiny. If you just pick the right angle, it's got just the right amount of typical orange peel you see on a brand new vehicle, but it's not inconsistent or anything wrong with it. And again, just like on the new vehicle, you can see if you look at the grille, if you look at all the details, there's absolutely no tape lines or overspray because this was all done with the vehicle completely apart. The second owner, this car had 2 owners, the second owner who did all this restoration work, I'm going to show you some super impressive backup and receipts for the parts he purchased. I've been in this business for over 35 years, and I have to say, this is one of the most thorough jobs when it comes to restoring a car, not to mention restoring a gorgeous Mercedes like this. So we're going to look at the soft top. We're going to put this up. So to do that, I just lowered this. And again, all the cables, everything is brand new. All the latches, everything is brand new. So we lift this up and we look on the inside. You can see this is all new upholstery on the inside, even the foam, just like on the factory, it's all new. All these, look at these, not E-clips, but these are like a spring-loaded washers. That's all brand new. All the hardware for the latches, all brand new. The gasket is brand new, nice and soft. And we're going to lift this up. And let's see. It's not very difficult. I'm doing it kind of slow just to show you around a little bit more. So you can see, let's look in here. And again, this is the side we don't usually get to enjoy. It's the seat, because it can be used as a shelf and it can be used as a seat. You saw me going in there, and I saw Ian smiling with me in there, but you can actually get an adult in there, not to mention you can have 2, maybe even 3 happy kids in there. So you can see this kind of like a soft layer that previous owner did, and I'm definitely all for it, because the contact surface, which is the plastic, is now resting on something very soft and very pleasant. And you can pull that up. We can show all these, again, brand new latches, brand new clips, brand new pins. It's all in phenomenal condition, and you can see that right there. So you can see that.
It's not even a cobweb.
Nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Let's pull this up. So we can now lower this. Yep. One. And the other one. Nicely latched. Everything levels. Beautiful moldings. And I know why they look so good, because they're brand new. So we have this pin right here, which is also brand new, and the gasket following it is brand new. And we're going to lower it. There's still going to be a gap, because, and that's a common thing when these are stored, this goes against that back wall of that compartment, and it makes this go up. But on a nice warm day, this actually levels again. Yep, I had to return that lever back, which I failed to do. And we're going to place one here and one here. So that. Yep, so you do need to make sure they position correctly, and then all you need to do is do this. It's rewarding, it's enjoyable, and it's mechanical, which means no hydraulic cylinders are going to leak, and you get to actually do something with your hands. So this is nice and tight. The gasket was thick and soft, so it compressed it. There will be no air leaks when you drive.
And you just need to turn the lever now.
Yes, in the back, thank you. So let's do that together. Yeah, so now it really tightens things up. And look at this top. It is beautiful. And there's nothing wrong with the top being tight like this, because it just stays nice and tight. It doesn't flap as much when you're on the highway. When you have an old top and it's all kind of loose and stretched out, it creates a lot more noise than you want to be a part of. And look at the front of it. It's really done nicely, because this edge is so perfect. It's parallel. It completely follows the molding, which is also perfect. And you can see there are no like wrinkles or bubbles. You look at the stitching. It's a high quality top. It's what we call OE, original German top. And the plaque in the back is impeccable. And you can see how it's nicely done. All the stitching is consistent. It's not like walking around. It's really, really nice. So here we have the top, and you can see that's all good. So we will now close the windows. And I'm pushing all 2 switches at the same time, and you can see they pretty much landed at the same timing, which is an indication of the inside of these doors are also brand new. The motors are new, all the tracks, everything is new. So, and when you have all motors working consistently, that means there are really no issues. So on the newer vehicles, we know the window kind of pops down a little bit, and then when you close the door, the computer sends the signal to motor to pop it back up. So this here is all about initial engineering and proper adjustments. This is so impeccably done. It doesn't grab the top. It does not stay on the gasket. It lands exactly where it has to be. These are very sensitive to these adjustments, and this is done beautifully. I feel bad I left some fingerprints. So let's check out the other door. Same thing. It did not do anything to the top. It went right in, because sometimes if these are not adjusted properly, the vehicle owner has to lower the window just a little to close it. When they get in the car, they have to put it.
And you know it all seals nice because it does the center of it pops up a little bit from the air pressure.
That's right, yes.
So you know it's a good seal.
Yeah, awesome observation. So let's take a look at the inside of this top and how it looks, because again, the frame is in great condition. Over here you can see the headliner is in impeccable condition. It has proper straps, all the hardware, it's not beat up. It looks like it's all new also. So that's a win-win with this top. And I know this vehicle, it's been here, actually we're continuing with the video, but it's been a couple days since the segment when we drove this in, and we did not start this vehicle. It has a mechanical fuel injection, and we're gonna open the hood one more time. Again, we're gonna show you how gorgeous it is. So let's look at this together with the camera, and we'll show you just the condition of all the parts now that we have a little bit more light. So you can see, if you look inside the control arms, they're all new condition. The EGR valve, it all looks in excellent condition. Even the battery bracket, it's all brand new. You can see the heater components, the heater control valve, that was overhauled. We have receipts on that. And
even look at I like the nuts on the headers. They're still copper color.
oh yeah, yeah.
You can see how fresh that is.
Yeah.
Well, on the headers.
Oh, down there, yes, absolutely, right there.
Those are some of the first things to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, oops. It looks, the oil is super clear, and there's absolutely no sludge of any kind. It looks as new as everything around here. So, yeah, if you look at all the linkages, everything is simply just brand new. So we're gonna give it a start, and it's very simple to start. You literally just turn the ignition. You don't have to step on the gas pedal. It may take a couple more cranks for the fuel pressure to build up. But you can see it is an absolutely cold start. I'm gonna put my hand on the exhaust manifold just so there's no question about it. It has not been running. It's warming up as we speak, and it's warming up quickly. So I'm not gonna be able to keep my hand for too long, but it's an absolutely cold start. And actually I started it with AC working. So you can see the AC clutch is spinning right there. And I did not touch the gas pedal. It started and it idled, so it has the proper cold start enrichment and proper cold start air regulation. So if we were to, so I just turned off the AC. It runs a little bit even smoother, right, Ian? Mm-hmm. And you can see the compressor stop spinning. The belt spins, but the clutch, which is also brand new, and the compressor is brand new, is not running the compressor. And you can hear this engine just runs absolutely beautiful. All these parts are brand new. So we're slowly but surely getting to the service record book that we created based on the records we received from the previous owner. But this is an awesome running engine, including the valve clearance. It's properly adjusted, including all the adjustments for the fuel injection system. It's one of the most impressive engines I've seen. So that's about 2,000, 2,500. A very, very, very smooth running engine. and a very powerful one. So let's look at the book of records. And when I say records, there are two meanings to that word. One, it's the set of records, because there are service records, and it also may be the book of records of how much someone spent on getting this car to this condition to maintain this level of quality for this restoration work. And these are not all the records here, because some of the records are not here. Like, for example, the paint job, which we know it was a great deal, and it was only $10,000, which was an awesome deal 10 years ago for this paint job. And that is not in these records. But what is in these records is pretty much a parts catalog for a 1985 Mercedes 280 SL. When I say parts catalog, because a lot of parts that are in that catalog are in these receipts. So what we've done, and the history starts from the very beginning, not very, very beginning, but it starts from way back. The second owner purchased the car in 2008. And during the restoration work, they spent over, right here, documented in this book, $45,000, check this out, $45,242 in this book relevant to the restoration of this vehicle. This is the money, well, that was during the course of 10 years, or mostly 10 years ago. And now these parts would be a lot more to buy, and some of these parts you cannot even buy anymore, certainly not from Mercedes. And so this is all right there. It's all documented, $45,242.75. So we're not going to take your time going through each page of this book, but we scanned it in the chronological order, and all these records will be made available for qualified buyers. And just to make sure, everybody in the family has a key for the gorgeous Mercedes. It comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 keys, in addition to one key that is in the car, a total of 7 keys. And these are no Home Depot keys. These are Mercedes keys that are properly cut and work. So there are plenty of keys that come with this Mercedes. What else comes with it? Let's check it out. We talked about the original steel wheels that do not come with the car. They're easy to obtain. You can actually get them easily. But the hubcaps, original to this car, come with it. There are minor blemishes on a couple of them. And this one has a little bit more than minor. This is the better looking one. And this one has a couple of dings. But overall, it's a very, very presentable set. And just so you have a good impression of how the car looks with the original hubcaps, which are in very good condition, we gently installed them. We didn't pop them in. There are no scratches. They're just installed there. And you can see how it looks. If you stand back, you can see a very elegant look. But some may think it looks even better without them. We do have the original sun visors right there. They come in a box. And this is the armrest that was purchased but not installed. And it comes with all the proper hardware, and it can be installed. There's a set of floor mats, nice quality floor mats in excellent condition. We're already familiar with these wrenches, all levers, handles. And then we have some extra parts that the owner bought extra just in case they will not be available. So they come with the vehicle. What do we have here? We have the headlamp lens. This was the time when you did not have to replace the whole headlamp. You could just replace the lens. So we have one. Yeah, it looks like that's an opposite side made by Bosch. This is also made by Bosch, just sold through Mercedes. So we have that. This is the tail light Oh no, this is another switch. So if it's, there's a brand new switch there. And there's something about these switches, when they're brand new, they click so rewarding, so nice. And after about 20, 30 years, they don't have that satisfying click, which is disappointing. They should last longer. But after 30 years, if you're still the owner of that vehicle, you have another switch to plug in to restore that satisfying click. So we have that for you.
Look at the electrical connector.
Oh, Ian, thank you for pointing this out.
Do you think we'd find that on a modern vehicle?
So
Something
these are coated. First of all, they are super substantial on the inside. They're incredibly substantial, and this still has a nice. So when this comes off, you can see each wire comes inside this tube, and it's soldered thoroughly. And then these pins, they have so much surface, so when they're plugged in, they're not going anywhere. And also, they are, I'm not sure if they're silver coated, but they definitely do not oxidize. They have some really good coating. So thank you for pointing that out. And if you look at the rest of the harness, it's nice. And this is harness built for interior of the car. This is not even for exterior. But I have to say, the modern electrical harnesses came a long way. And some of them are even better than this. In fact, they are better than this. But for 1985, but to be fair, this goes back to 50s. They already had these types of connectors. What else do we have for goodies? And I know this is not like critically important. It would not be a purchasing decision maker, but it's good to know. So this is actually, it's called main. I believe this is the main relay. So we got that. Okay, we have a distributor cap. Something you don't see on modern vehicles, but for those of you that are interested, what does the distributor cap do? It distributes the spark to each cylinder. There's a little rotor that spins, and as it spins, it shoots the spark to each cylinder. We do have the fuel filter. All these parts are new on this car, but these are extras that will come with it. So welcome back to our last segment. We have the SL280 on our rotary lift here in the showroom. So we're gonna show you the very impressive condition of the underbody of this Mercedes. So let's start from the front suspension. And I'm just gonna grab the camera so that I can show you these different things. So we're looking at the front end. You can see pretty much most of the components, including even little brackets and hardware, that's all brand new. You can see it right there. And you can see this, the cross member mounting stuff, that's all brand new. Like everything, hardware for the control arms, hardware for the shocks, the springs, all that is brand new on this vehicle. Backing plates, they're all brand new. So, and then we do have all those parts records, all the work that it was done by the second owner, who is definitely a qualified, he's an engineer and certainly qualified specialist to work on the vehicle. We have here warm-up pressure regulator, or also known as differential pressure regulator. That's for the fuel injection. Here's the oil filter. Of course, brand new engine mounts, all the little bracket for the shock. This is shock for the engine dampener. That's, you see right there. The steering box is brand new. He bought it brand new from a Mercedes dealer, as many other parts. It's not a rebuild box, it's brand new. You can see there's another shock right there to the right of the exhaust pipe. Again, this is the shock for the engine dampening. And then here we have the idler arm, all brand new. Here we have the exhaust system, also brand new. The transmission, you'll see records. It was professionally rebuilt just prior to the second owner acquiring the vehicle. And here we're looking at the rest of the underbody. That looks Just absolutely amazing. And again, a lot of brand new parts from hardware down to all the springs, cables, mounting brackets for cables. The rear suspension control arms are original. They're very beefy. They don't need much at all as far as the replacement. And here we have the brand new fuel pump. Here it is. And the fuel filter, all the fittings, all the hoses, they're all brand new. A brand new exhaust system. And look at just the condition of everything on this car. There's not a speckle of rust, of course, anywhere. And that was an attractive feature for the second owner to take on this project. The car literally had no rust. And as you can see, the paint work is beautifully finished with the chip guard properly applied just prior to applying the finish coat. New moldings, and we're going to take a peek under the wheel wells. You can see, again, all new parts there. And here's the front of the vehicle, brand new radiator, new hoses, new transmission cooler lines, power steering, new power steering cooler lines, and it looks like the new power steering cooler as well. And look at all the hardware for the front spoiler and the spoiler. It's all brand new Bosch driving lamps. AlphaCars contact information, and again, European headlamps that look awesome, and they have the windshield, headlamp wipers. Anytime we think about wipers, we think windshield, but it's not only windshield that gets to use the wipers. So the condition of underbody is impeccable. There are no scuff marks, there's no damage, and as you can see again, the restoration is done just beautifully and impeccably. And look at these calipers that are also brand new. All the hardware is brand new. So I think we're going to wrap up this segment. I'll ask Ian if we, by chance, maybe missed anything.
I don't think so.
I think we got it covered. But you know what? If we did, please let us know in the comments or simply give us a call. 978-263-9000 if you're interested in the vehicle. You can check availability on our website, alphacars.com, ALPHACARS.com. And please consider sharing, subscribing, because you will have access to this amazing daily content that is produced right here at AlphaCars. And thanks for watching. This is Dimitri and Ian, and until next time.